Please be seated. Good afternoon, friends, family, honored guests, faculty, and most of all, graduates. My name is Dan Tokaji. I am the Dean of the University of Wisconsin Law School. It is a great honor and privilege to welcome all of you, and I'm pleased to see that there are so many of you here today to our hooding ceremony. First, welcome to our graduates. Congratulations. We are all so proud of you and delighted to share this very special moment in your lives with you. Next, welcome to all of the graduates, friends, family, and loved ones gathered here today. Today marks a special moment for all of you too, because no one gets through something as difficult as law school alone. We all know how vital your support, patience, interest, and your love have been to our graduates. None of them would be here today without everything that you have done for them. You have every reason to be proud of today's graduates and of yourselves too. So, our first order of business, graduating class, is to recognize these very important people gathered here, as well as those online, whose contributions were essential to your success. Graduates, I ask you to stand as you are able. Turn to your friends and family, or to the camera if there are people you want to address there. And please join me in giving all of them a big round of applause. You may be seated. I also want to welcome the family and friends streaming the ceremony online. Welcome to you as well. We're excited you can join us remotely. And I will ask everyone on the stage to look at that camera right there behind the graduates. Let's all wave to the family, friends, and loved ones watching from around the country and around the world, and show them some Wisconsin pride and love by giving them the W sign. Let's do it. Yeah, there we go. Friends, you can do it too. All right. Along with the stream, you can follow this year's ceremony on social media. We have a hashtag, UWLawGrad, which I think will be shown on the two screens to my right and left. I encourage everyone here today to use the hashtag throughout today's ceremony if you're so inclined. You can also take a moment to get a selfie of yourself and your friends and post it on whatever social media you use. The hashtag will also work tomorrow for the big commencement ceremony of the university for those who will be joining us there. That's tomorrow afternoon. I am pleased as well to welcome two honored guests to the stage. First, and I will be saying a little bit more about them in a moment, our special guest, former Congressman Jim Sensenbrenner. And our keynote speaker this afternoon, Justice Janet C. Protasewicz. I also want to welcome our faculty speaker today, Professor Aaron McBride, as well as our student speakers who you'll be hearing more about later. They are Kamau, Duranya, and Mohammed. Also, of course, joining us up on this stage are my colleagues, the University of Wisconsin Law School faculty and staff. As your teachers, mentors, and guides, they have been with you all on this journey. I can't tell you how pleased and proud we all are to share this day when you all transition from being our students to being our colleagues, and we hope now our friends. At this time, I invite the faculty and staff to stand, whether you're on stage or elsewhere, as you are able, and to be recognized by our graduates. Although this is a happy day, graduation is somewhat bittersweet for all of us who've had the privilege of being your teachers and mentors over the last few years. It's bittersweet because we're really going to miss you, this class especially. You've not only made your way through law school and helped your graduates through law school, but you've built communities around you, and you've left your mark on this place. You know, we think sometimes the relationship between teacher and student goes one way, but it really goes both ways. You all affect, inspire, and encourage us. And we hope that we as teachers have at least had some of that effect on you. All right. Now to our speakers this afternoon. As I mentioned a moment ago, we are quite privileged today to have a very special guest with us, former Congressman Jim Sensenbrenner. He represented Wisconsin's 5th and later 9th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives for over 40 years. Representative Sensenbrenner grew up in Shorewood, Wisconsin. He earned a bachelor's degree in political science from Stanford, and then had the very good sense, this is a man known for his common sense, to come back to Wisconsin, earning his law degree, his JD, from the University of Wisconsin Law School in 1968. Yeah, let's cheer for that. And here's something really incredible. That same year, 1968, he was elected to the Wisconsin State Assembly. So what Representative Sensenbrenner told me as we were waiting to walk out here a few moments ago is that as soon as he graduated from law school, what he did was start knocking doors to run for election to the Wisconsin Assembly, which he won in 1968. He was later elected to the Wisconsin State Senate in 1975, elected to his first term in the U.S. House of Representatives in 1978. He continued to serve the people of Wisconsin in Congress until his retirement in 2021. And just a point of personal privilege here, you know, I would love to see more of our graduates run for public office at some point in your career. So just something to file away in your head for later. We really do. We need more lawyers and leaders like you in public office. The many highlights of Representative Sensenbrenner's career in Congress include his service as chair of the House Science, Space, and Technology Committee, as well as the House Judiciary Committee. And this is really how I came to know about Representative Sensenbrenner now more than 20 years ago. He played an absolutely central role in the reauthorization and amendments to the Voting Rights Act in both 1982, those were really critical amendments that changed the face of representation in this country, as well as in 2006. I don't go back all the way to 1982, but I was involved in a very limited way in the 2006 amendments. And let me tell you, everyone in the civil rights and advocacy community knew that Representative Sensenbrenner was the leader in Congress in getting those Voting Rights Act amendments through. He also played central roles on lots of other legislation, including national security and civil liberties issues, as well as the strengthening of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Later today, Representative Sensenbrenner will receive an honorary degree from the university in law and public affairs. So this is a really, really rare thing. This is going to be a man who has not just one, but 2 degrees from the University of Wisconsin Law School. And this is, of course, this honorary degree. It's one of the highest commendations that the Board of Regents and the university can bestow. It is reserved for those like Representative Sensenbrenner who have lived lives of service to others, thus fulfilling a key part of the mission to which we are all dedicated. Representative Sensenbrenner is well known for doing what he believed to be right, for always being forthright and direct, and for working across the aisle to get things done. He's also known for being accountable and being willing to be held accountable to the people he served. He never forgot that it was the people of Wisconsin, the United States, and especially his district that he served. And at one time, he was holding more town halls than any other member of Congress. Congressman Sensenbrenner has always deeply valued knowledge and learning, has a special bond with UW-Madison and the law school. My favorite example of this is that about 25 years ago, he gifted to the university a direct descendant of that apple tree that bore the falling fruit that legend has it fell on Sir Isaac Newton's head and inspired the notion of gravitational pull. That tree is gifted to the university by Representative Sensenbrenner, is currently in a lovely garden on Bascom Hill, less than a block from the law school. We are very honored that he was willing to come from Alexandria, Virginia, where he currently spends most of his time, to take time and give a brief welcome and congratulations to our graduates. Please join me in welcoming Congressman Jim Sensenbrenner.
Thank you very much. Is it on now? Yes, okay. Well, thank you very much. Graduates, it's over. 3 years ago when you came to law school, you felt very much as I did when I came to law school here in the fall of 1965. That 3-year tunnel is a very long one. It's a very dark one. So you don't think the light at the end of the tunnel will ever show up. And finally you made it. Congratulations. The next big step is to go to the Supreme Court and have the justice and her colleagues swear you in. That will give you a license to change the world. And I view it as such that you will. Now, when I got to law school, there was fear. Fortunately, that wasn't the case with you. When I got to law school, they had just moved into what was then called the new building. They over-admitted, and 40% of the class behind me was flunked out at the end of the first year. This was when the war in Vietnam was going on. So if you flunked out of law school, you got drafted almost immediately if you were male and sent off to Vietnam to a very uncertain state. You didn't have that. But that made us work all the more hard in order to make sure that the draft notice never came. And of the people in my class, I think only 15% flunked out, and the rest of us stayed in and graduated. Now finally, to friends and family. What the dean said applies to you folks as well, because without the support of my friends and family, I don't think I would have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. So your role in helping these people make it to the end of the line and become licensed lawyers is just as vital as all the hours that they spend reading cases and trying to figure out what the honorable justices meant. Finally, no commencement address or acknowledgement is worthwhile without some advice. Now, I've always believed that free advice is worth what you pay for it, and maybe this will be for you too. But my advice is think outside the box. If you think outside the box, whether it's in law or in legislation or just general civil discourse, you will do very well both at your profession as well as how you feel about yourself. So thank you again for your efforts. Thank you for your hard work. And now let's go contribute to Wisconsin. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Congressman Sensenbrenner, for the stirring remarks and to you all, the great advice. He has to leave, as you can tell, to go to his next campus event, but we very much appreciate him taking time to join us today, and we congratulate you as you're heading out on your honorary degree that you'll be receiving later today. It is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, the Honorable Justice Janet Protasiewicz. She serves as a justice on the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, having been elected to that role in 2023. She was born and raised on the south side of Milwaukee, earned her BA in education from UW-Milwaukee, and then received her law degree from Marquette. We won't hold that against her. Shortly after graduating from law school, Justice Protasiewicz joined the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office, where she worked for 26 years, becoming a skilled and very highly regarded trial attorney. She was elected to the bench in Milwaukee County in 2014 and again in 2020. As a Milwaukee County judge, she presided over many different kinds of cases, including criminal, drug court, and family court matters. Justice Protasiewicz was elected to the state Supreme Court, as I mentioned, in 2023, an election that catapulted her and the state Supreme Court to national attention. Notwithstanding that attention, Justice Protasiewicz is, and she remains, a Wisconsinite through and through. She has long been active in her community, and her service has been recognized and celebrated many times throughout her career. That includes receipt of the Community Involvement Award from the Association of Women Lawyers and the Women of Influence Award from the Wisconsin Law Journal. She continues to serve the community by working, among other things, as a volunteer with the Wisconsin chapter of the American Red Cross and the Polish Heritage Alliance. Because of her commitment to our profession, the legal profession, and to public service, we are thrilled, I'm thrilled in particular, that our student graduation committee asked that Justice Protasiewicz be invited to serve as today's keynote speaker. Good work, y'all. and she's going to share some of what she learned through her years of experience as a lawyer and judge, and to help launch our new graduates into the world. Please join me in welcoming Justice Janet Protasiewicz.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Dean, for that beautiful introduction. All of you in the class of 2025, a huge congratulations as you celebrate this momentous day. As you've already heard today, you wouldn't have made it here without support from your friends and family and the incredible faculty here and other guests who are with us today. How about another round of applause for all the people who helped you get here today? I should tell you that I remember my law school graduation like it was yesterday. The friends that I made in law school are still some of my best friends today. And I hope you all have that same experience as you begin your careers. We'll talk about the importance of relationships in a little bit. But, as the dean said, I graduated from Marquette Law School, which for those of you who don't know is just a short drive from here, located in Milwaukee. And so I can say that I may not agree with you on what the best law school in the state is, but you know what? I think we all can agree that Wisconsin is a pretty great place to go to law school. Actually, it's better than a pretty great place, right? I think it's the best place to go to law school. And I know that some of you have probably spent your entire lives here in Wisconsin. For others, maybe you just came here just for this incredible law school. Whatever the case, I hope that you enjoyed your time here with us in our beautiful state. And I hope all of you know that your smarts and new legal skills are always welcome here with us in Wisconsin. Some of you will be staying here to begin your careers. To those of you that are going to stay and work in our fine state, I hope that it brings you great joy. You know, in my entire time that I practiced law as a lawyer, I only had one client, and that was the state of Wisconsin. Out of law school, as the dean told you, I worked for the district attorney's office in Milwaukee. Then I became a judge, first in circuit court in Milwaukee County, and now on the state Supreme Court. So I know a thing or two about being a lawyer in this state, and I hope that you're going to love it just as much as I do. How many of you are leaving the state, I wonder? I see a show of hands, quite a few of you. And for those of you who are leaving the state of Wisconsin and starting your career elsewhere, I'm saying to you, good luck with those pesky bar review courses and those bar exams, right? You're going to have your hands full with those. But seriously, I of course wish you the best of luck wherever your legal journey takes you, and you know that you're always welcome here. And to all of you in the class of 2025, no matter where you practice and what type of work you're going to be doing, I am so excited for you to start your career as a lawyer. I can honestly tell you, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot imagine a more rewarding career. As an attorney, you're going to be able to help people on a daily basis. At the same time, you're going to be encountering some of the most intellectually stimulating situations that you can imagine. This is truly a great career, and I welcome you to the profession. I'll be honest with you, I had some struggles with what to say here today. I'm speaking to you at a time of intense polarization and debate. A time where to many of us, things may feel uncertain, right? I know I can say that personally. I've had to think about those uncertainties that come with being a member of the judiciary in this particular moment in history. And perhaps some of you feel a version of that in your own lives. So I wanted to talk to you about what I can say to help ease some of that uncertainty. I'm not sure that anything can particularly do the trick, but nevertheless, I have two messages for you here today. First, as a lawyer and as new lawyers, you have the tools to meet this moment. And secondly, don't forget about the value of treating those around you with integrity and maintaining relationships. Let's start with the first one. As a lawyer, you absolutely have the tools to meet this moment. We are living in a time of impassioned debate about what is and is not allowed in our country, about what should and should not be allowed in our country. And those debates often take place in courtrooms. It's no coincidence that we're seeing a lot of cases coming to us about fundamental issues, about the structure of our government, and how the government treats its citizens. Our courts, however, have a special ability to resolve these knotty questions, which makes our courts and the legal profession all the more important today. Now that you've got that JD after your name, you'll be able to be an active participant in those debates. Maybe that means you'll be bringing one of those cases to us on the court, and that would be great. But it doesn't have to be coming to the court. You don't have to be dealing with a big flashy case. We all have opportunities as lawyers to bring cases that make a meaningful difference to our clients. In addition, you don't have to be the one bringing the case. You have lots of other tools now in your toolbox as lawyers that you can use in the moment. You now have the knowledge about the way our law works and the way that we interpret it. You can share that knowledge with those around you. You now have the skills to communicate effectively and make compelling arguments. You can use those skills to share your message. You have the unique ability to see issues from multiple angles and appreciate a strong argument. You can use that ability to bring people together. In my years as a prosecutor, I did just that. A prosecutor doesn't just charge someone with a crime when they can meet the particular elements of that crime. There has to be prosecutorial merit to bring in the case. A prosecutor has to carefully evaluate the facts and the law in making a decision that changes the life of the person that's being charged, while at the same time protecting victims of particular cases. It's a very powerful role. It's very much like the role you are going to be taking on in the near future. In the end, as a lawyer, you are going to have a special power to tackle some of the issues that are facing our country today. I urge you to take that power seriously, and I have faith that you will. So my second message then, in this moment, as always, it is important to act with integrity and maintain strong relationships. Having those relationships is important to both your success as a lawyer and, of course, to your success outside of work. Let me start with the impact of integrity and relationships on your legal career. I have seen again and again throughout my career how important it is to act with integrity and foster relationships. As a prosecutor, I learned pretty quickly that I wasn't going to get much done if I didn't build a relationship with the judge and with defense counsel. And one little hint, don't forget the clerks and the bailiffs, because they are really the people who run those courtrooms. And you need to act with integrity and show the people around you that they can trust you. Some of my best friends were, and still are, members of the defense bar. We would have a hard-fought battle in the courtroom and then walk out to the parking lot together, or go to dinner together, or spend other time together. And each and every one of us was proud of our role in making the criminal justice system work. As a circuit court judge, I needed to see integrity from the people practicing in my courtroom. I would often say that the Milwaukee County Courthouse was like a huge high school, but nobody ever graduates. So everybody knew everyone, and everyone knew everyone's business. And everyone also knew who they could and could not trust. So in an environment like that, you're holding yourself to a high standard of integrity. If you don't, people are going to notice. And now, as a Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice, I see the need for integrity every single day. On the court, we handle cases that impact people's lives. Sometimes those issues are deeply personal to a few individuals, and sometimes they are important for people across the entire state. As individual justices and as a court, we need to uphold our integrity so that people will respect our decisions. Whether it's the individual parties in front of us or the public at large, we need to make sure that they respect and trust what the Wisconsin Supreme Court says. That's why I strive every day to handle the cases that come before us with integrity. So I've seen through my entire legal career how important it is to act with integrity and maintain relationships. But that's just at work. Of course, having those strong relationships will help you not just in your legal career, but will help you in life generally as well. I hope you have people in this room who you cherish. Maybe that's family members or members of your support system or your other network here to cheer you on. Be sure you take the chance to thank them today and know that they are proud of you. Or maybe it's the classmates that helped you to get here today. Don't underestimate the connections you've made with other members of your law school community. I still talk to the people I went to law school with. Quite frankly, I talk to them virtually every day. And they have provided me with energy up until this day. Those classmates that you had here in law school were with you during your best times and your worst times, because we all know law school can be challenging at times. And they're going to be with you as you navigate your career. When I think about you sitting here and what you've just experienced for the last 3 years, it brings to mind moot court, study groups, and how we were all better because we learned from each other. And I still learn from them frequently because they give me lots of advice, lots of unsolicited advice, let's just say. We sit on committees together, we play some really bad golf together, and we enjoy our time together, planning those law school reunions. It's been the network of people that you've met here, I really don't think you can duplicate. And trust me, those years when you're going to be planning that reunion is going to be coming sooner than you expect. So in the end, building relationships and being someone that people can trust will help you both in your legal career and in your life. Take your reputation seriously and treat others well. So to wrap up class of 2025, congratulations on making it to this day. From your first day of kindergarten to that last final you just took, you have spent a lot of time in school. The hard days of studying are over, and you are ready to move to your next chapter. I really look forward to seeing what this class will do. As you go forward, remember that you have the tools to meet this moment, and remember to continue building strong relationships. Congratulations and the best to all of you.
Thank you, Justice Protasewicz, so much for sharing those inspiring remarks and reminding us all of the importance of integrity and relationships, as well as the power that you all will soon have to make a difference in people's lives and maybe even to change the world as lawyers. Justice Protasewicz also has to leave early. She's very busy, as you can probably imagine, we've got a quite active court here in Wisconsin, but I hope you'll join me in thanking her once again for being with us this afternoon. Well, that was fun, but now we get to the really cool part. Your speakers, the speakers that our graduating students chose from among their classmates, and I can assure you the competition was very stiff to serve as their student speakers. We have 3 of them today. And our first speaker is a graduate who will be receiving his JD degree, Clarence Kamau Allen. Yes. Everybody loves Kamau. He came to Wisconsin from Colorado, earned his BA degree at Howard University, focusing his studies on political science and African studies. He returned to Colorado after his undergraduate education and worked as a community organizer. He led a campaign in Colorado in 2018 that reformed that state's constitution so that slavery and involuntary servitude could no longer exist as punishment for crime. Later in 2020, he founded the Abolish Slavery National Network to support similar abolition campaigns that were successful in Utah, Nebraska, Tennessee, Oregon, Alabama, Vermont, and Nevada. Great work. While here as a student, Kamau founded the Fair Sentencing Project, a student organization supporting legislative efforts to eliminate juvenile life without parole sentencing. He was very active in the Black Law Students Association, as well as in one of our clinics in the Frank J. Remington Center. After law school, Kamau plans to continue seeking equal justice under law by working as a civil rights litigator. Yeah. That's what I did before I became a law professor, so I'm really very happy to hear that. I had the privilege of having Kamau as a student in my class, but as those of you who have gotten to know him know, he not only has a lot of intelligence and wisdom that he shares with his classmates and his professors, but he is just a joy to be with. There's something about Kamau that when you're in his presence, you just feel better. His passion and drive, as well as that quality, are likely why his classmates voted him to serve as one of their speakers today. I think it also has a lot to do with his kindness and his sense of humor, both of which I can attest to having had him as a student in class. I can't wait to hear what he has to say to you all today, so please join me in welcoming Kamau Allen to the podium.
Good afternoon, everybody. Y'all sound like you're not at a graduation ceremony. Good afternoon, everybody. And greetings to our dean, our faculty, our alumni, the class of 2025, and all those who came to celebrate this tremendous occasion. Let's give us all a round of applause. I would like to first begin by thanking God for carrying me this far. It has been a mighty long way. And I would also like to thank my family for pouring so much love into me. And I'd like to thank my elders and my ancestors for making moments like this possible for people who look like me. To my classmates, I want to say thank you, not only for electing me to speak today, but for being in community with me throughout these 3 years. We grew close because we struggled together. We laughed together. We learned a lot together, and we embarked on a terrifying journey called law school together, and now here we are celebrating together. We've earned this moment. But class of 2025, I regret to say that we are becoming lawyers in a very troubling time in our nation. I wish this wasn't the case, but our democracy and the very concept of justice itself is being challenged. And these challenges loomed over our heads as we embarked on this journey throughout our law school careers. In many ways, these challenges made our education full of contradictions. That on the one hand, as we learned about how the law is supposed to work, we also saw how many of those laws are being challenged and attacked by our federal government. As we spent hours in class studying due process, we saw an administration deny due process to innocent people who were sent to a prison in El Salvador with no hope of returning. As we learned about the affirmative action laws and policies that helped overturn a century of racial apartheid, we saw many of those same laws and policies get overturned. As we studied criminal procedure and learned about the different theories of punishment, we saw a president who, despite having been found guilty of 34 felonies, evaded every punishment model we learned about. And as we learned about our ethical duties to the court, we saw an administration openly defy a unanimous Supreme Court decision. Class of 2025, our education has been full of contradictions indeed. And when people have been brave enough to stand up to those contradictions, or just to stand up for the rule of law and what's right, many of them have been threatened and punished. Students have had their visas revoked for exercising their First Amendment rights. Judges have been arrested by the FBI, including Judge Dugan out of the Milwaukee County Circuit Court in her own courtroom. Law firms have been coerced to represent clients that they otherwise would not have represented, and universities have had their funding revoked. Standing up to an authoritarian regime comes with a very heavy risk to our lives and our freedoms. I have no illusion about that. And I understand that many of you might be scared today. But I have a message for you. Fear is an opportunity for courage to exist. And now is the time for us to be as bold and as courageous as we have ever been. We must walk a very courageous path that our ancestors and our elders have been forced to walk on many times. They walked this path when they marched across that Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. They walked this path when they risked lives escaping slave catchers in the Underground Railroad. They walked this path despite having their houses bombed, their bodies incarcerated, and their freedom fighters killed. They walked this courageous path of freedom, and most importantly, they won. We find ourselves at yet another opportunity to follow in their footsteps and to win again. Remember, fear is a call to action, and we must rise to answer it. We rise up to recognize that these degrees don't solely belong to us. They belong to our clients, the communities we serve, and the future generations to whom we owe a duty of courage. We rise. We rise up to recognize that in the face of injustice, we do not back down. We do not bend the knee. We do not buckle. We do not yield. The forces against us may be strong, but we must be stronger. We rise. We rise up and recognize that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. No attacks on our freedom of speech shall prosper. No deportation raids or threats to be sent to a foreign concentration camp shall prosper. We rise. We rise up and remember that Dr. King once said, "The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And as lawyers, we are in a unique position to bend it. Class of 2025, I love you.
thank you very much, Kamal, for sharing your thoughts on the challenges that our society and our legal system shares at this moment. And I can tell you from the reaction you've just received that your classmates, they all love you right back. Part of this law school's mission is to prepare our students to be advocates for equal justice under law, and service is an integral part of our profession and is at the core of the Wisconsin idea. To reinforce the importance of service to others, the law school has a wide range of activities, student organizations, and co-curricular programs in which our students participate. And all of our student speakers today are wonderful examples of this dedication, as are so many of you among our graduates. I want to ask every student who received a service award or who participated in a student organization, co-curricular, or student activity at the law school to please rise as you are able. No. Yeah. Please join me in recognizing all of the work these graduates have done on behalf of others. Be seated. If you didn't already know, you see with your own eyes now what an engaged and enthusiastic group of graduates we have. We appreciate all that you've done in law school, and we can't wait to see the things that you're going to do, not only to become successful as lawyers, but what you're going to do for other people throughout your careers. Our next JD speaker is Duranya Freeman. Yeah. Duranya was born in Philadelphia, and the many places she calls home since she was growing up on the East Coast. It's one of the many places, rather, that she has called home, growing up on the East Coast, and she has deep family connections in Sri Lanka as well. She graduated from Colorado College in 2018, where she ran track and majored in English literature and political science. After graduation, she worked at the Colorado Center on Law and Policy, focusing on anti-poverty advocacy. And afterwards, she worked at the State Trial Court in Butte County in rural Northern California. She has been, as you all know, a very highly engaged student in our community. She is, among other things, the recipient of the Bruce L. Beilfuss Memorial Award for service to the law school, as well as the Catherine Manning Memorial Award and the Clinical Legal Education Association Award for her work with the Legal Assistance to Incarcerated People Clinic, part of the Frank J. Remington Center. Duranya, I think you all know, and your friends, family will now know, she's just a total dynamo. She has been one of the most active student leaders, and I want to emphasize that leader's part. She really is someone who leads in the most effective way, not by telling people what to do, but by showing them what can be done and how to do it. After graduation, Duranya will move to Denver to work at Ballard Spahr LLP. We're very excited for her, grateful for all that she has done for our community through her service. Please join me in welcoming Duranya Freeman to the podium.
Thank you, Dean, and good afternoon. There's no greater privilege than the trust of one's peers, so, class of 2025, I am beyond honored to be speaking today and to have shared these past 3 years with you. To be honest, I'm quite nervous to be up here, and the only thing making it better is this curtain-like robe that I'm wearing, and the fact that my sister keeps saying, breathe, over there. In this room, there are more than 250 lawyers-to-be, but over 1,000 people sitting on either side of us. It's a testament to a core truth about law school. Nobody got here alone. We are here because of professors who challenged us, clinical mentors who believed in us, staff who supported us, and because of all the loved ones from across the country and across the world. You bore witness to our struggles and joys and carried us through all of it. And to anyone for whom this day is bittersweet because someone you love could not be here, I hope you know they are proud of you. I want to personally express gratitude for my parents, my sisters Hasadri and Kisara, my in-laws, my family in Sri Lanka, and my husband Peter. Here is a fact. No one has anyone in this room entirely figured out. For all of the time we spend debating the gray areas in law school, we are remarkably flawed in our tendency to place each other into all-encompassing categories. This person is so close-minded. That person is too loud. This person has it all together. That person is a mess. We constantly confuse the part with the whole. The legal profession is unforgiving because it is structured to make your lawyer part your entire identity. In years to come, people will ask so much of that one part that it will threaten to become our whole. We will be tasked with writing and speaking bridges into existence between a set of facts and a set of outcomes. Sometimes the bridge will break and people will fall in. There will be days where we feel like terrible lawyers. Someone, client, partner, judge might even tell us that directly. But let us commit to never confusing the part for the whole. We are not just lawyers, we are human beings. Our paths to this stage were multifaceted. Some of us commuted from Milwaukee every day. Some lost family members. Some fell in love, others made the hard choice to walk away. Some welcomed new family members, a few of whom even had the privilege of attending law classes before taking their first breath. Lucky them. And some, like me, shamelessly ate all the mints from Adam Bushcott's desk window or planned their Monday lunches around Professor Gross's baking routine. My path here was not linear. I moved to Madison from Chico, California, and 2 days in, fell off my bicycle in front of the entire UW freshman class, breaking my elbow, and I didn't have health insurance. All of my earthly belongings were 1,000 miles away and would remain so for a month. But that outer chaos was the tip of the iceberg for inner chaos that I've carried for years, something us lawyers are often pushed to keep out of sight. Last summer, every day that I went to my job, my greatest challenge was not the Philadelphia transit system, but the gnawing fear that that would finally be the day everyone would discover I didn't belong there. What helped me through that was all of you. My interactions with so many of you have shown me that everyone carries their own truths and struggles, no matter what they might look like on paper or how they may show up at school, and that I wasn't alone in my internal battles. When we forget to love all the parts of ourselves, even those that are messy and we wish we didn't have, when we look to others to figure out what is acceptable, that is the minute we lose ourselves. People will tell us that we can't be successful lawyers without sacrifice, and there's some truth to that. But don't let anyone sand down your edges and curves so you become the perfect piece to someone else's puzzle. That is especially true today. Today, our legal journey begins amidst a climate of fear. But, as Kamau said, history advises us in such times not to be timid in narrow worlds, but to be courageous and expand them. There's a beautiful quote I had in my office during my very first job in Denver from Lord of the Rings. It's an exchange that happens when Frodo is given the ring, this metaphorical and very real weight that has the power to destroy or free everything he loves, and he's just learned that he has to carry it across the world. He says, "I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish it need not have happened in my time." And Gandalf replies, "So do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." It's easy to sit here and wish we were born during a different time, where the delineation of our future was more certain, secure, predictable, where the path was clearer or safer. But that's not for us to decide. We have to, and we get to, decide to do with the time we are given. And the best way to do that is to hold true to our whole selves and to see others in their entireties. There are so many intricate parts that have molded you into the whole that you are. Cherish all of those parts. Remember that we are each other's light, and we can carry the burden for one another when it gets too heavy. Let us be gentle with each other and ourselves. Though today we celebrate individual achievements, let us cross the stage as a single united class who can hold each other to the promise of honoring our whole selves. So hold all of your brilliant and broken pieces at once. We are exactly where we are meant to be. Thank you so much. Congrats, Class of 2025. On Wisconsin!
Thank you so much, Duranya. I am sure I speak not only for our graduates, but for everybody in the room, and especially those of us who are a little older, in saying I'm just awed by the wisdom that we have just heard from one who seems to be so young. I also thank you, Duranya, for everything you've done to make our law school better. Our third and final student speaker, selected by their classmates, is Mohammed Bataneh. Please. Mohammed hails from Jordan, and he has been a student in our LLM program, the degree he'll be receiving today. He's just told me that he was admitted to our SJD program, so will be remaining a student here. These programs, our LLM and SJD, primarily serve students who come to Wisconsin from outside the United States and have earned their undergraduate degrees in other countries. Law school is hard for everybody, but it's especially challenging when it is in a language which is different from the one you grew up speaking and in a different country. It is really amazing that our LLM and SJD students have accomplished all they have been, and we celebrate you all as well today. Great work. In addition to his studies here, Mohammed, and this is pretty fantastic, is also pursuing a master's in international relations at the University of Liverpool. He already has a BA in English language and a master's in law from Jordan. Mohammed's research focuses primarily on constitutional law, particularly the evolution of reforms in the Middle East, examining how these reforms balance social demands with political objectives using case studies from Jordan, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, and Algeria. He hopes to use his legal education to contribute to legal reform and policy development, especially on the role of constitutional law and how constitutional law can shape societies. Please join me in welcoming Mohammed to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Khalid, for the very kind introduction. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you and good afternoon, family, friends, faculty, and staff. It is truly an honor to stand before you today as we celebrate not just the completion of a degree, but the journey that brought us here and what the journey it has been. At UW-Madison Law School, we have been shaped to lead with kindness and to strive for excellence. Our professors and mentors, among the most respected voices in the legal field, have been deeply committed to preparing us to meet the challenges of our time. And to join the ranks of this institution graduates is not only an honor, but also a profound responsibility to uphold the values and standards we have been taught. When we first arrived, most of us had three things: big dreams, many questions, and a slightly confused look on our faces. Over time, our dreams took shape, and our questions led to deeper understanding, and that confused look, well, still comes back during finals, but we have learned to hide it better. During our program, we have been deeply inspired by Professor Asifa. by Professor Asifa thoughtful guidance. She reminded us always that the law isn't just about rules, it's about people, lived experiences, and asking the hard questions always. And Professor Mitra Sharafi, through her passion for legal history, she showed us that the past is not something distant, but something that speaks directly to our present. Also, let's be honest, she made 9 a.m. classes more interesting than they had any right to be. For me, this journey has been about more than textbooks and exams. I still remember one class with Professor Strange, where I was struggling to follow the legal citation rule and the Blue Book dilemmas. I was ready to give up and blame my tired brain, but then Professor Strange broke it down so clearly to the extent that I started feeling like a legal genius. But that feeling lasted only for 5 minutes until the next case citation assignment. But those 5 minutes gave me hope, and that's all a student sometimes really needs. This degree has taught me to think critically and to question with purpose and to engage with the world. Not just from the pages of a casebook, but with empathy and intentions. It has also added a tremendous value to my qualifications and opened doors I only once dreamed of. Pursuing an SUD was a distant goal and something I always hoped for, but wasn't sure would ever be possible. This degree turned a dream into reality. It gave me not just the academic foundation, but also the confidence to take the next step into my legal journey. And today, with great pride and deep sense of gratitude, I am honored to continue my studies as a doctoral student in the SJD program at UW-Madison Law School. I want to sincerely thank our professors for their support, their patience, and for never saying out loud when our answers were a bit off track. Especially Professor Strange, Professor Asifa, Professor Sharafi, Professor White, Professor Raymond, and Professor Rosario for your clarity, your kindness, and your ability to make us feel seen and heard. And to the rest of the faculty, even those I haven't had the chance to meet, thank you for being part of this journey and building a space where students like us could grow. I also want to thank the incredible administrative staff, those who kept everything running behind the scenes, answering our endless emails, helped us navigate deadlines, and made sure we could focus on learning. Your dedication didn't go unnoticed. And before I close, there's a special thank you I must make from the bottom of my heart. To my parents and my family back home in Jordan, who are watching me now through the live stream. Though you couldn't be here today, your love, your sacrifice, and the endless support have carried me through every challenge. This success isn't mine alone. It is yours. I dedicated this achievement to you, and I hope I have made you proud. And to our families and friends on the seats, thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to us talk endlessly about assignments you never asked about. Your support got us through more than you'll ever know. And to my fellow graduates, thank you for the late night messages, the shared outlines, the group chats full of panic and distress, and for proving that we are truly in this together. And as we step into the world, let's carry not just a degree, but the lessons, the values, and the friendships we built along the way. And of course, the Wisconsin cheese curds. Congratulations to the class of 2025. May we lead with purpose, speak with courage, and always remember where we come from. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, for sharing your experience, for sharing your appreciation for our faculty, for your fellow students in the courts, for our beloved cheese curds. Every year, the graduating class chooses a faculty member who they wish to have as their hooding speaker. And this year, the graduating class has very wisely selected Professor Aaron McBride. Professor McBride directs the Government and Legislative Clinic and the Native Nations Externship Program here at the law school. She also teaches regulatory, state, and legislative procedure. Prior to joining us on the faculty at UW Law, Professor McBride dedicated her legal career to the nonprofit arena with positions at ABC for Health and Justice, Judicare. She earned her JD from the University of Iowa College of Law and her BA in Chemistry and Architecture from Bryn Mawr College. She is a wildly popular teacher and mentor to our students, and you are about to see and hear why. She is known by everyone for her effervescent enthusiasm, both in and out of the classroom. You know, the very best teachers, they may teach in very different ways, but they have one thing in common. They care deeply about their students' learning, and their students know and feel that, particularly in Professor McBride's case. She has previously won our Clinical Teacher of the Year Award, and if you don't know already, you're about to see why she is so beloved by our students as well as by her colleagues. Professor McBride, welcome to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Takachi. I want to say a quick hello to my husband, Jeremy, and son, Kieran, who are here today, and hi to my mom and dad watching at home. Thank you to Justice Protasevich, Kamal, Duranya Mohammed. Wow. To our extraordinary faculty and staff guests, and thank you, the UW Law School Class of 2025. It is truly an honor to celebrate this milestone with you. Today marks a momentous occasion in your lives as you graduate from law school and embark on your respective quests as legal professionals. I know this day wouldn't have been possible without your extreme effort, sacrifice, passion, and intellect. It also wouldn't have been possible without the time, encouragement, and support of your parents, grandparents, siblings, partners, adorable children, and endless streams of TikTok. Today we gather overlooking the calm, powerful waters of Lake Monona in acknowledgement of those inspirational and motivational forces you have in your life. This day marks not merely the close of your studies, but the beginning of your charge, a revered calling to stand as stewards of justice in a world truly in need of both courage and clarity. Each of you made a conscious decision to go to law school. Maybe it was to fight for justice and serve the vulnerable. Taylor Swift might say you were in your social justice era. Maybe it was to challenge power and take on the establishment. You were living your resistance era. Or maybe you gravitate toward extremely stressful situations and really enjoy reading 300 pages a night, your high anxiety era. Whatever your reason, whatever your era, you chose a path that's going to give you the power to make a real impact. And along the way, the pressure, the complexity, and all of that reading may have blurred your vision. But your choice to train as lawyers speaks to your respect for the rule of law, even when everyone's interpretation of it may differ. It shows that you understand deeply and personally that law is more than a set of rules. It's a framework through which societies organize, resolve disputes, define rights and responsibilities. But as you've learned, it isn't that simple. The current assaults on the U.S. Constitution, threats to lawyers and judges, villainizations of different populations, and the outright attacks on our rule of law have shaken our confidence in the systems we thought we were training you to serve. The very foundation of justice is under strain from both real and imaginary dragons. It's difficult to know where lawyers, especially new lawyers, fit in. Quite honestly, most nights I struggled with the notion of just how do we teach law students when the very definition of the law is unstable. In times like these, the rule of law cannot sustain itself. It needs guardians, and that's you. You carry a duty, codified in professional ethics and rooted in centuries of legal tradition, to uphold the rule of law, even when it's difficult, especially when it's unpopular. As I fretted over training students to walk into these difficult times, I realized that no one should ever apologize for raising dragon slayers at a time when there are actual dragons. We need a light in the storm. And that is precisely why we are here. Not because the world is stable and fair, but because it isn't. We live in a time where the forces of injustice, inequality, corruption, and apathy roam. The world you're stepping into is not short on dragons. Injustice shows up in courtrooms where outcomes still too often depend on race, wealth, or geography. Inequality is baked into systems that deny fair access to housing, healthcare, education, even democracy itself. Corruption thrives in unchecked power, whether it's corporate greed, political self-dealing, or institutions that protect themselves before they protect the truth. And apathy, the most perilous dragon of all, materializes when people give up or stop believing that the law can be a force for good. Too often, we also make dragons of people who simply aren't like us. Those who think differently, live with less, or carry histories we don't understand. We cast them as threats and strangers instead of neighbors. As lawyers, you will be called upon to uphold a principle meant to serve justice, yet one that has too often been used to perpetuate inequality. The law, when rightly used, is not a weapon to punish difference, but a promise that no one is beneath protection and no one is above accountability. Let the rule of law be a mirror, clear and unflinching. Let it reflect the soul of the society it serves and the values we hold. Our task is to keep that mirror polished so it shows our finest efforts, shaped by generations of struggle, reform, and hope. But the law is not frozen in glass. It is a living covenant, a breathing promise between people and justice, and yes, there is light in it. Not the illusion of perfection, but the real alchemy of human resolve and moral courage, transforming principle into progress and belief into action. This sort of progress doesn't occur in isolation, and as law graduates, you're entering a profession all about making connections. Successful lawyers build deep networks and cultivate strong alliances with others in and outside of their field. Building these connections isn't easy. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to be vulnerable and open to others. It means stepping outside of your comfort zone and listening to the perspectives of others, even if you don't always agree with them, especially if you don't agree with them. Whether you're working with clients, colleagues, or opposing counsel, your success will depend on your ability to form strong relationships, collaborate with others, gather the light. As future advocates, reformers, scholars, and judges, you have a unique power and a responsibility. In this profession of choices, you decide how to achieve fulfillment for yourself, how you will be of best service to others, how you will shape and improve the law. Those choices you make every day matter, and they require tremendous care. Conformity, oppression, apathy are the easy way out, representing those dragons ready and willing to extinguish your professional and personal progress. I hope you choose to help, and when you do, I hope you choose to give more rather than less. Leave no regrets on the table, because when it matters most, there's no undoing not doing enough. Slaying dragons takes persistence, courage, and solidarity, and that's exactly what you've trained for. You came to law school with a purpose beyond memorizing statutes or passing exams. You came to shape the next era, to fight for justice, protect those who can't defend themselves. Armed with knowledge, bound by ethics, driven by this purpose, you now have the tools to use the law as a beacon. In the great tradition of Wisconsin, go forward, for you are the light bearers now. Go forward and slay.
Thanks, Professor McBride, for many things, including for reminding us not only that no one is above the law, but no one is beneath its protections either, and for encouraging our students as a part of their future work to serve equal justice for all people. You can see why they selected her among the many great choices on our faculty as their featured speaker this afternoon. Okay, I want to call your attention next to the cardinal red, or as we like to say, badger red stoles that some of our graduates are wearing today. These graduates are graduating with high academic honors, having consistently excelled in their studies here at UW Law. We have additional academic recognitions honoring student performance in a particular class or field, as well as a Dean's List recognition that students can earn on a semester-by-semester basis for their academic achievement. A description of all of these honors can be found in your program. However, I do need to apologize to some of you, as some of you were notified by email due to an error in the University Registrar's Office. Sadly, not all of the Dean's List honors were included in the program today. We are going to be printing corrected programs, which those of you affected should have received an email about, and if you didn't, you can ask Dean Josty about that. We'll make sure you get ones with your names and the honors you worked hard to achieve properly printed in them. So sorry about that, but I do want to at this time recognize all the students and ask the audience to be especially loud in their recognition on this one. Whether your names are listed in the program or not, if you're wearing a cardinal stole, if you were recognized with an academic award, if you've ever been on Dean's List, you all know who you are. I ask you to please stand now so we can recognize you for your hard work and academic achievement. We are all very proud of you. All right, thanks. You can be seated. All right, we now come to a very special time in the program, presenting our degree candidates with their hoods. This symbolic process publicly demonstrates that you all have completed your degrees. The colors on the hood represent both the graduate's field of study and the university where you earned your degree. The purple represents law, and the red represents, of course, the greatest university in the world, the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Now, you may or may not have the chance to wear this finery again anytime soon, but if you do have occasion to wear it, say at an academic ceremony, if it's properly chosen, and if anybody else cares to figure it out, you'll be able to tell from the regalia what your highest degree was, a law degree, and that you earned it from UW-Madison. All right, so for the hooding now, here's what's going to happen. Our graduates are going to stand row by row, as directed by the ushers, head for the stage. We'll start. You're going to be presented by degree type and in alphabetical order by name. We're going to start with our JD students and move to our LM and SJD students. When you come to the stage, please hand your card to the staff, and when your name is read, you'll step up to the faculty members on stage who will present your hood to you. They'll put it over your head to complete your regalia. 2 graduates will be hooded at a time, and you can't see it from where you're sitting right now, but there are these little footprints taped onto the stage showing you where to go and stand. After that, after you get your hood, our staff will help make sure your hood looks perfect, and each graduate will proceed off the stage to our photo area, where we have professional photographers set up to take pictures. This is a celebratory moment, and we want you to enjoy it in the way that suits you and your family and friends and loved ones best. So feel free to be loud, everybody. Feel free to cheer, make noise, or if you want, be silent, take photos. This is your moment. We do have a professional photographer up here, as I mentioned. The images taken of the graduates will be available for purchase, but you're also welcome to take your own. We've got plenty of space up in the front here, and we invite you to come up. We just asked you to coordinate with your other guests, and space is limited. Please approach the area when your graduate's last name is going to be called. Since it's alphabet order, you should be able to figure out when that's coming. Approach the area as their name is about to be called. After they're done, please kindly return to your seats so that loved ones of the next graduates can snap their photos too. We asked you to keep the aisles clear. The fire marshal will really appreciate that, since we got a big group of people assembled here, so that our graduates are able to return to their seats as well as fellow audience members. Once all of the graduates have been hooded, we kindly ask that all guests take their seats for the closing and the recessional. So, let's start the hooding.
You guys are lawyers, you can follow directions, I know. Seriously. Ahmad Abu Sameh. Henry Basayo Adebisi. Delaney Barbara Agnew. Oluwaremi Laku Adebayo. Alexandra Anderson. Namrita Aurora. John J. Beck. John Bake. Jed Baranchik. Hamid Bazara. Michelle Becklin. Kimberly Allison Bennett. Alexandra Benson. Mary Berg. Seep Bardwash. Luke Binneman. Bridget Bishop. Kate Bishop. Angus Blakeman. Rebecca Blumenfeld. Jared Bach. Melissa Bronstein. David Anthony Bryant. Cade Budrus. Robert Bullard. Nicole Berg. Emmett Burgos. Jalea Butler. Allison Baza. Riley Callowette. Claire Carey. Dominic Cachato. Alexis Cashman. Kip Coljohn. Anna Colvin. Conley. Bridget Cook. Kenna Kramer. Samantha Crane. Connor Cruz. Judy Cusack. Kennedy Cutts. Victoria Check. Nick Daniels. Garrett Davidson. Eleanor Marie Davis. Mohamed Bataneh. Kamal Allen. Julia Durze. Ben Harper Dickerson. Sabrina Dornan. Nathaniel Douglas. Noah Dregney. Luke Dretsky. Taylor Earring. Madeline Erlinger. Kendall Elliott. Claire Evanoff. Evan Feely. Robert Fader. David Ferguson. Rachel Ferreira. Samuel Ferris. Catherine Flight. Caroline Fox. Joseph Frank. Ryan Adika Freeman. Ziyuan Fu. Amber Furbringer. Jonathan Fuller. Harry Gatto. Julia Rose Gaynor. Lanisha Gibson. David Lloyd Gersh. Jessica Isabel Gomez. Miguel Gonzalez. Ryan E. Gooding. Samuel Boxell Gordon. Hannah Gruen. Charlotte Goody. Laurence Desmond Geiger. Stephen Guth. Kenya Hagans. Connor Hawkinius. Emma Hanu. Sierra Harkey. Madison Houseman. Matthew Hawk. Olivia Hefty. Olivia Phelan Heiser. Luis Herrera. Julia Hoff. Marshall Holmes. Nathan Horn. Christopher Hubble. Brianna Jack. Juliet Jock. Zijanaska Betty. Alexander Jones. Jamie Conchana Nanakan. Anil Kang. Jacob Keeley. Katie Kelly. Riley Kennedy. Samuel Kennedy. Garrett Kerr. Julie Kim. Kathleen Marie Kennedy. Joey Kenning. Philip Klinker. Tyler Coachman. Noah Koleski. Hannah Kohler. Thomas Kozlowski. Grace Kramer. Rebecca Crassity. Ben Kubishiak. Kay Lambrecht. Amber Larson. Ordway Lassie. Hannah Limke. Vera Leone. Sophia Christensen Lapine. Addison Lewis. Gabrielle Little. Nathan Loiza. Conrad Long. Elisa Lopez. Hannah Ludwig. David Loomis. Caleb McDonald. Nicole Madden. Gabriela Marquez Ruiz. Samuel Allen Martin and Noah Patrick Martin. Aaron McBride. Jefferson McCain. Alex McDonald. Claire Renee McNulty. Jonathan Meyer. Stephen Meyer. Rachel Miliotto. Zachary Miller. Emerson Myris. Tiffany Mitchell. Anthony Chin Molina. Henry Morris. Rachel Mount. Mitchell Muller. Joseph Muse. Samuel R. Nenick. Daniel Paul Nerenhausen. Nguyen Quang Tiantum. Jordan Nickel. Bella Neferitis. Logan Noe. Michael Olson. Amani Omari. Tristan Ott. Albert Polly. Louis Lillard Palmatier. Shruti Pandey. Devin Painowy. Janine N. Paquette. Mireille Park. Dr. Jill Patzner. Robert Pellegrin. Kiana Parabin Mays. Sumner Pitt. Madeline Pollack. Tristi Banala. Sabrina Powell. John Predeville. Jade Catherine Proctor. Kasim Rana. Nicole Gail Reed. Zachary Thomas Renier. Jeremiah Roden. August Testweed Rice. Frederick Owen Roberts. Lauren Roberts. Jacqueline Rothman. Ezekiel Rogers. Matthew Rose. Noemi Reyes. Paige Schaefer. Weston Schmidt. Maxwell Schneeberger. Zachary Schooner. Alexandra Schrader. Macarena Shrai. Sydney Schwantes. Maxwell Schwartz. Elizabeth Scott. Maxon Serlin. Benjamin Siebert. Connor Sheehan. Amber Sherwood. Jillian Shimabakara. Ninderjit Singh. Nikita Reddy Singham. Stephen Todd Slack. Sledens. Samuel Smith. Chess Spencer. Evan Steck. Michaela Steckless. Courtney Steffens. Sophia Stingau. Emma Stepik. Ellen Stojak. Aaron Swanson. Haley Swanson. Colby Thornton. Minwewe Valliere. Anne Van Hoot. Annika Vinheisen. Cameron Joseph Ventola. Annika Vermack. Emily Valadson and Ford Romero. Regina Gupta. Benny Winkleman.
Happy birthday, Benny!
Bob Weber. Gracie Wint. Jace Wade. Emma Whitfield. Brooke Wiegert. Amber Quinlan Willette. Ella Woolley. Anthony Warmuth. Kyle Williams. Hunter Williams. Ji Shin. Kobe Yang. Fred Yates. Magdalena Yaki. Sufin Shang. Candidates for the Master of Laws Legal Institutions degree. Julio Gallo. Jin Chin Gao. Candidates for Master of Laws degree. Shin Fong. Asan Ali Chowdhury. Chunglin Leo Lee. Chao Yi Sheng. Hyun-Woo Wan. And the candidate for Doctor of Juridical Science degree, Adriana Romero. Let's give our graduates one more round of applause.
All right, good news, everybody. I'm on the last page. Thank you, and let us have one more big Badger round of applause for our graduates! I have to say, I mean, especially with this group, as you all were coming through, I haven't sadly gotten to know any of you, not all of you, but my humor is always unintentional. I have, however, gotten to know many of you, and a part of me really does want to say to this group especially, please don't go! But then another part of me looks around our state, our country, and the world, and sees how much we need lawyers and leaders like you. So that part of me says, please, go! Go out into the world. But then I also want to say to you all, please come back. We cannot wait, all of us here, we can't wait to hear and read about the great things that I know y'all are going to do. There is nothing, as someone who's been teaching for now 22 years, nothing that gives us more joy than when our students go out into the world and succeed and help people and make a difference. And I know you will. All of us have been honored to have you as a part of your journey and ours. I often say, I said this when you arrived, once we admit you to this law school, once you accept our offer of admission, you are a part of our community. And that not only applies during the year or years that you're here, but throughout your careers and throughout your lives. We will always welcome you back, and we can't wait to see everything we know you're going to accomplish. Our sincerest thanks also to all the family, friends, and loved ones of the graduates, those here in this room, those of you participating through the live webcast. You all played a huge role in getting them to this point. Thank you for joining us. Now, I'm going to lead the recessional, starting with the faculty on stage and followed by our graduates. Guests, we request that you please remain seated until the faculty and graduates have exited the exhibition hall. Graduates, ushers will assist you during the recession, releasing your rows, one at a time. And everybody, after the celebration concludes, we're going to celebrate. We invite you to join us for a reception which will occur on the rooftop of this beautiful building on this beautiful day. Thank you all, and forward!